Normally, I don't watch documentaries. However, when I see one that I really like, I must talk about it. So here we are. So Billie Eilish, The World's A Little Blurry is the latest documentary centering on, as you can probably imagine, Billie Eilish, as the film primarily focuses on the behind-the-scenes creation of Billie Eilish's first debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Alrighty guys, so let's get into Billie Eilish, The World's A Little Blurry.
Excellent!
For those of you who know me personally, I don't really watch a lot of documentaries, and it's not that I don't like watch them because I have seen some great documentaries over the past 10 years. But in terms of watching film genres as a whole, there are two in particular that I always seem to skip out on. Well, not always, but for the most part, I should say. One of them being romance, and the other being, you guessed it, documentaries. And at least for me, I will watch a documentary for one of two reasons. First one being that a family member or a close friend recommends it to me a lot, or two, the film subject matter, whether it be the person it's based on or centering around, or the subject matter in general really interests me. And this Billie Eilish one really caught my eye. I did not know a whole lot about Billie Eilish before I saw this movie. I have heard her name being tossed around a lot. I mean, her first album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, was released literally almost 2 years ago, which is absolutely insane. I don't tend to listen to pop music. I'm more of a rock metal guy. I mean, the Beach Boys, the Beatles, Metallica, to which I bring my Metallica shirt here, by the way. Also, Sick Puppies, Korn, Rob Zombie, Tears for Fears, Elton John, OMD. Pop I'll listen to from time to time, like Madonna, Lady Gaga. That's all I can think of at the moment, actually. Although, I will say this. I was skeptical about this movie, about this documentary, I should say, for one reason. The filmmaker, R.J. Cutler. Because back in 2014, I saw a film from him called If I Stay. And I thought that film was so bad. However, with that being said, I was still excited to see it. And I'm really happy to say this, guys. I really dug this movie a lot. In fact, I'm going to say this even more so. After I had finished watching this movie, I went right onto YouTube and started listening to Billie Eilish. That's how much I enjoyed this movie, or this documentary, I should say. One thing in particular that I absolutely loved is that this film is actually kind of inspiring. I am not too familiar with how the recording process goes because I'm not a music guy. I mean, I go to my buddy Mr. Garris if I want to hear about any new music. But when it comes to recording any artist, whether it be a solo artist or a band, I tend to see them making a new album and essentially a recording studio. Where Billie Eilish and her brother, no joke, they recorded this album in their bedroom. When it came to them recording music, it looked like they had the bare minimum of equipment. Like they had a microphone, a computer, some good headphones, and that is it. I have no intentions of picking up a microphone and recording an album, let alone a song, because I cannot sing for shit. However, I can see anybody, whether it be a girl or a guy, picking up a microphone and trying to record because of what Billie Eilish and her brother were working with in the confines of a bedroom. I'm telling you all, it was actually kind of inspiring to see what they had to work with. One thing in particular that I actually quite liked, in fact I loved about this documentary, was this. Even though this is a documentary that primarily focuses on the creation of Billie's debut album, at the same time it does focus on things going on in her personal life. It does show her relationship issues at the time. It also shows her battles with depression, and also at the same time it deals with stuff of their family life, and also not to mention her struggles with her rising fame. I loved seeing everything that was going on. It showed that Billie was still trying to struggle with everything while at the same time trying to make an amazing album, to which I have heard a lot of the songs on there. That's a damn good album, by the way. Something in particular that I have to talk about because this was great, and I mean, oh my god, and that was how the concert portions were shot. R.J. Cutler caught some great footage. I mean, the concert footage in this movie is absolutely brilliant. How he cuts together footage, or just POV shots I should say, looking into the crowd, of how he got some shots, I don't know how he did, going from the crowd looking at Billie, or coming from the backstage as if he had a backstage pass, looking at a Billie Eilish concert. I mean, it's amazing how he got all of this stuff. If I were to talk about my favorite scenes of this documentary, because there were many sequences I either really liked or scenes that I absolutely loved, some more than others, to which don't worry, I'll get into later on in my cons. But honest to God, my favorite parts of this documentary were actually seeing when Billie and her brother were working together in a bedroom on the album. Seeing their creative process together was honestly really, really cool. Seeing their back and forth banter, having a fun time, seeing her brother telling her, hey, try and doing it this way, maybe try and doing a softer tone of voice, maybe in a more babyish voice, and seeing Billie work that mic, I was just like, oh my God. Seeing Billie working with her book or her journal, I'm pretty sure it's a journal, but seeing the lyrics that she had in her journal and also the artwork in her journal, I mean, honest to God, I thought those was really, really cool. I absolutely loved how Billie used music in order to essentially tell her feelings. Honest to God, there were many parts where there was a song that was happening. Oh my God, there is one song I couldn't stop listening to after actually I watched the movie. It's in my head right now. Oh my God. It's honestly making me tear up right now because the song is just, it's emotionally powerful. And I even really liked especially the creative conflicts that the two of them did have when they were making music together. Another thing that I liked, and this was for the most part, was the film's running time. This documentary is 2.5 hours long. For the most part, I was really invested in this. Seeing Billie dealing with the making of her first album, seeing her going through her personal issues in life, seeing her dealing with her rising stardom, especially at 17 years old, because get this guys, they shot this film from 2018 to 2020. It must have been absolutely insane in order to chop all that down. This is just a particular thing I discussed it because it's personal now. There was one particular thing that I did not think they were gonna go over. They did, and when I heard them doing it, like the lyrics sounded familiar, and as soon as I heard it, I just thought, no way! And gave me goosebumps, not gonna lie, and I cannot wait to hear the rest of it.
Well, that's just fucking great!
In terms of my issues, I do have a few. Not a lot, but a few. This documentary runs at 2.5 hours. That could be very daunting to some people, and in fact, I found it to be daunting myself at first. There are times throughout this documentary where it did feel like it was longer than 2.5 hours. How this documentary starts off, even though RJ Cutler got some amazing concert footage, I mean, brilliant concert footage, at the same time I just felt, okay, let's get things going. There are a couple of scenes I can think of off the top of my head that I feel like went on for way too long. There is one particular, I'm not gonna say which scene it is. There is a person that is just talking, and they're talking, and they're talking, and they're talking. I just kept on thinking, okay, you can cut now. Okay, you can cut now. Okay, you can cut now. I get the point. Like, you can cut to the next part. In terms of this particular issue, I wouldn't say that I wasn't a fan of this, but it just confused me. There were a couple of parts in this film in which it feels like that there was something there, but then they cut out for time purposes. I feel like that there were parts that were very important, but again, they probably cut out for the sake of time. If you are not a Billie Eilish fan, like at all, this will not convert you to be a fan. If you want to see the progression of the album that she made, her debut album, definitely give it a shot. But if you are not a fan of Billie Eilish's music, just stay away from this completely.
And here we go.
So overall, guys, like I mentioned earlier, I don't tend to see a lot of documentaries. However, Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry is one of the few that I have seen, and I really, really dug it a lot. Like, I dug the crap out of this documentary. I don't really tend to listen to a lot of pop music. I'm more of a rock metal guy. However, after seeing this movie, this is probably the best compliment I can give to this movie, besides me liking it a lot. After seeing this movie, it got me listening to Billie Eilish's music, and from what I've heard so far, I dig her a lot. This is a documentary that is raw, it's authentic, and it's a very interesting dive into one of the most unique artists working today. So all in all, I'm gonna give Billie Eilish The World's a Little Blurry a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I was genuinely surprised in the best way possible by how much I enjoyed this film, especially coming from somebody that doesn't watch a lot of documentaries. Alrighty guys, so comment down and let me know below. What is your favorite concert film or your favorite documentary about a musician? let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat and Stardust. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever the latest video of mine goes live. If you guys want to see my previous 2 videos, please click on the right there or there. And of course, until my next video or review, I will see you all next time.